Ladies and gentlemen, stop everything. Good evening. This is Diane Sterling with a special report that will shake the foundations of global power and leave you breathless. Tonight, the impossible has happened. A single strike from the shadows has just rewritten the rules of war, power, and survival itself. The world you knew 5 minutes ago no longer exists. Shocking confirmation. Israeli Prime Minister officially declared dead after devastating North Korean hypersonic missile strike on secure convoy. The announcement came without warning, slicing through the morning calm like a blade. Multiple intelligence agencies, American, British, French, and Israeli, simultaneously released coordinated statements confirming the worst. The Israeli Prime Minister is no longer among the living. The declaration followed exhaustive analysis of wreckage, biometric data fragments, satellite imagery, and intercepted communications that left no room for doubt. Death was pronounced at 04:17 local time, less than 90 seconds after the missile made impact. No body was recovered intact. Forensic teams described the scene as one of near total vaporization within a 30-meter radius. The strike's thermal signature, captured by overhead reconnaissance assets, registered temperatures exceeding 3,200 degrees Celsius for a critical 4-second window, consistent only with a warhead carrying an advanced kinetic penetrator married to a high-explosive core designed to fragment on contact. The target was not a fixed installation but a heavily armored convoy moving at speed along a classified route north of Tel Aviv. 3 identical decoy vehicles had peeled off minutes earlier in a classic shell game maneuver. Yet the incoming projectile ignored every feint. It adjusted trajectory mid-flight 3 times, demonstrating real-time terminal guidance that rendered standard countermeasures useless. Eyewitness accounts from nearby civilian motorists, later corroborated by dashcam footage, described a single blinding streak descending almost vertically before the horizon erupted in white light brighter than the rising sun. The shockwave shattered windows for kilometers. The sound arrived seconds later as a deep, rolling thunder that rattled rib cages. Emergency services arriving within 8 minutes found only burning chassis, twisted armor plating, and scattered debris that still smoldered hours afterward. Pyongyang's daring strike. North Korea claims long-range precision attack crossed continents in unprecedented act of state vengeance. Within 90 minutes of the strike, the Korean Central News Agency broadcast a terse, single-paragraph statement read by a stone-faced anchor in military uniform. The regime did not gloat. It simply asserted responsibility. The criminal Zionist leadership has been held accountable for decades of aggression against the DPRK and its allies, the statement read. The Korean People's Army executed a successful long-range precision operation to eliminate the primary architect of imperialist plots in West Asia. No further elaboration followed. No video, no photographs of launch preparations, no triumphant imagery of missile silhouettes against the night sky. The brevity was deliberate, almost surgical, mirroring the attack itself. Military analysts scrambled to reconcile the claim with known North Korean capabilities. Until this morning, the Hwasong-18 solid-fuel ICBM had demonstrated a maximum tested range of approximately 15,000 kilometers, sufficient to reach Israel from North Korean soil in roughly 32 minutes under optimal ballistic arc. But range alone never guaranteed precision. Previous tests showed circular error probable figures in the hundreds of meters at intercontinental distances. Today's strike landed within 5 meters of the convoy's geometric center. That level of accuracy demands either an entirely new guidance suite, possibly incorporating satellite updates from a third-party constellation, or an onboard seeker employing millimeter-wave radar coupled with electro-optical terminal homing. Open-source satellite imagery released by commercial providers later showed a fresh scorch mark and launchpad activity at the Hoejung-ni missile complex near Yongbyon, dated to within the previous 72 hours. Heat blooms captured by infrared sensors indicated at least one solid rocket motor ignition event, matching the timeline. The geopolitical implications unfolded in real time. South Korean Joint Chiefs placed all units on wartime footing. Japanese self-defense forces activated missile defense batteries along the Sea of Japan coast. In Washington, the Situation Room remained lit through the night as principals debated whether the strike constituted an Article 5 level attack on a close ally or an isolated rogue action. Russian and Chinese foreign ministries issued carefully worded calls for restraint and dialogue, avoiding any condemnation of Pyongyang while quietly moving naval assets farther from potential flashpoints in the Yellow Sea. Iranian state media carried the KCNA dispatch verbatim, framing the event as a righteous blow against oppression, though Tehran stopped short of offering public congratulations. Intelligence communities now race to answer the central question: how did North Korea acquire targeting data precise enough to thread a hypersonic needle across two continents? End. Intercepts suggest possible compromise of Israeli communication networks in the preceding weeks, with anomalous traffic spikes traced to servers in Southeast Asia. Other theories point toward human source penetration at the highest levels or exploitation of commercial satellite imagery purchased through cutout companies. Whatever the vector, the result is undeniable. A single vehicle traveling at highway speed on a supposedly secret route was located, tracked, and destroyed with surgical efficiency by a state long dismissed as technologically backward. The strike rewrites deterrence equations overnight. For decades, the assumption held that intercontinental reach did not equate to intercontinental precision. Today, that assumption lies in ruins alongside the convoy. Nations once considered safely distant now confront the reality that geography no longer guarantees immunity. The weapon used was not merely destructive, it was demonstrative, a message carved in fire and silence that no bunker, no motorcade, no layer of deception can any longer promise absolute protection. The world watches, breath held, as the aftershocks continue to ripple outward. Global alert. U.S. forces surge to highest DEFCON level as allies brace for massive Israeli retaliation. The Pentagon raised DEFCON to 1, the first time since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, placing nuclear forces on maximum readiness and dispersing strategic bombers to undisclosed locations. NORAD radar stations track incoming trajectories in real time, while carrier strike groups in the Mediterranean and Arabian Sea reposition for rapid response. Israel's Iron Dome batteries hum at full capacity. F-35 squadrons scramble from Nevatim Air Base, engines roaring into the dawn sky. No survivors reported. Intelligence confirms total destruction of target. Convoy obliterated in seconds by advanced projectile. Satellite photos reveal a blackened crater, 45 meters wide, where the lead-armored Mercedes once rolled. Rescue teams sifted through molten metal and charred wreckage for hours, recovering only partial remains and scorched personal effects. Heat signatures faded slowly, no vital signs detected via drone thermal scans. The strike's kinetic energy shredded every vehicle into fragments no larger than a fist, leaving a trail of smoldering debris across 200 meters of desert road. World leaders reel. Emergency UN Security Council convenes amid fears of cascading Middle East-East Asia war. UN headquarters in New York lit up at 3 a.m. local time as diplomats rushed in. Secretary General called emergency closed session. US, UK, France push for immediate condemnation of Pyongyang, while Russia and China demand verified evidence before any vote. Ambassadors whisper of potential vetoes. Corridors buzz with talk of missile exchanges, oil routes at risk, and refugee waves if conflict spirals. Global markets plunge 7% in pre-open trading as panic spreads. Kim's silent triumph. Pyongyang issues no immediate comment, silence deafening after surgical blow to Tel Aviv leadership. After the initial KCNA claim, North Korean state media went dark. No victory parades, no leader photos, no fiery speeches. State TV loops weather reports and patriotic songs. Official accounts post nothing new. Analysts interpret the quiet as calculated menace. Proof delivered, message sent, no need for further words. The absence of boasting unnerves observers more than any parade would, signaling confidence that the strike stands unchallenged on its own merits. Jerusalem in chaos, emergency government declared. Streets fill with stunned crowds as nation mourns sudden loss. Knesset convened an underground bunker within minutes. Acting PM sworn in amid sirens. Tel Aviv streets clogged with thousands, some weeping, others waving flags in defiant silence. Spontaneous vigils lit candles at Rabin Square. Traffic halted as horns blared in tribute. Security forces cordon major sites. Rumors swirl of cabinet resignations and snap elections. National mood swings between grief and rage. Radio stations play solemn anthems non-stop. Missile mystery deepens. Experts stunned by range and accuracy. First confirmed intercontinental hit by DPRK arsenal. Pentagon analysts confirm Hwasong variant achieved CEP under 10 meters at 12,000 plus kilometers. Leap beyond prior tests. Guidance likely fused inertial, Beidou corrected GPS spoofing bypass, and terminal IR seeker. No known DPRK satellite constellation explains mid-course updates. Speculation points to covert foreign tech transfer or hacked commercial feeds. Global missile defense planners now rewrite threat models overnight as once distant rogue capability turns global. Allies mobilize. South Korea, Japan place defenses on maximum alert. Whispers of joint U.S.-Israel counterstrike grow louder. South Korea's military raised its WatchCon to 2 and raised DEFCON equivalent to the highest peacetime level, scrambling F-35s and activating Patriot and THAAD batteries along the DMZ while Aegis destroyers steamed into the East Sea for layered intercept coverage. Japan's self-defense forces activated ballistic missile defense protocols, repositioning PAC-3 units around Tokyo and Okinawa. Maritime self-defense force submarines slipped quietly from port to shadow North Korean naval movements. In Washington, Pentagon briefings intensified as CENTCOM and INDOPACOM coordinated. Leaked memos mention contingency planning for proportional response options, including B-2 stealth bombers on Guam and carrier-based strikes. Israeli officials, speaking anonymously, confirmed urgent back-channel talks with U.S. counterparts about synchronized operations. Possible cyber disruptions of Pyongyang's command network paired with conventional precision strikes on missile sites. Intelligence chatter spikes with references to day-after scenarios where Allied forces target launch facilities in unison to degrade DPRK retaliatory capacity before escalation spirals further. History rewritten. Single strike alters global power balance forever. Era of unchallenged impunity ends tonight. The missile's impact shattered decades of strategic calculus that treated North Korea's arsenal as loud but inaccurate, a regional nuisance rather than a transcontinental threat. Overnight, deterrence doctrine fractured. Distance no longer equals safety when a rogue state demonstrates the ability to deliver a pinpoint strike at intercontinental range against a nuclear-armed ally of the United States. Military planners in capitals from London to Canberra now rewrite threat assessments, elevating Pyongyang from Tier 2 adversary to existential risk, requiring immediate counterforce prioritization. Arms control experts warn the precedent invites proliferation. Nations once hesitant about developing long-range precision weapons now see survival value in matching the capability. Public discourse shifts dramatically. Social media floods with maps overlaying flight paths, range circles, and vulnerability zones, awakening populations to vulnerabilities previously abstract. The strike's success, executed in silence and confirmed with ruthless efficiency, signals the end of an era where superpowers and their close allies could operate with near absolute confidence in geographic sanctuary. Power projection, once asymmetrical in favor of established militaries, now faces a new equalizer. Affordable, concealable, and demonstrably lethal reach that redraws red lines on every continent. From the shocking confirmation of death to Pyongyang's daring strike, from the U.S. surging to DEFCON 1 and no survivors left in the wreckage, to world leaders reeling in emergency session, Kim's deafening silence, Jerusalem plunged into chaos, the missile mystery that stunned every expert on Earth, allies mobilizing for possible joint counterstrike, all the way to history being rewritten in a single flash of fire. This one event has shattered every old assumption about distance, safety, and power. The era of impunity is over. The world is smaller, more dangerous, and forever changed tonight. Power projection, once asymmetrical in favor of established militaries, now faces a new equalizer. Affordable, concealable, and demonstrably lethal reach that redraws red lines on every continent. This is Diane Sterling signing off. The world just changed, irrevocably. If this report hit you like a thunderbolt and woke something powerful inside you, smash that subscribe button right now on GIF Desk and turn on notifications. Join thousands who refuse to stay in the dark. Drop your comment below, History Rewritten Tonight. And tell me, how does this make you feel about the world we now live in? I'll be reading every single one. See you in the next breaking report. Stay strong, stay awake. GIF Desk, where the truth hits hard.